Hello, my dear student. A warm welcome to all for the Samveda e-learning program. In this class, you are going to learn many concepts about the lesson light, reflection and refraction. My dears, you can see this lesson in textbook part 2, page number from 70 to 95. I am going to explain this lesson in 5 different sessions, and the learning points for the first session are properties of light, reflection of light in plane mirror, spherical mirrors and their types, meaning of the terms associated with the spherical mirrors. The learning points of the second session are image formation by spherical mirrors, ray diagram for the formation of image by a concave mirror, uses of concave mirrors, image formation by a convex mirror and uses of convex mirror, and mirror and its formula and its magnification. So, these are the learning points for the second session, and the learning points for the third session are refraction of light through a rectangular glass slab, refractive index and spherical lenses. And the learning points for the fourth session are refraction in spherical lenses, ray diagrams for the formation of images by lens, then sign convention for the spherical lenses, lens formula and formula for the magnification. And in the last session, that is in the fifth session, you are going to learn sign convention for the reflection by spherical mirrors and lenses and solving problems based on the formula, that is mirror formula, and solving problems based on the lens formula, and finally you are going to learn about power of lens. My dear students, all these 5 sessions includes interesting experiments and amazing activities and quiz programs which you are going to enjoy a lot. My dear student, you have learnt about light in the previous classes, mainly about the basic properties of the light. You all know that light is a form of energy which help us to see the objects. Without light, we can't see the objects. So, the properties of the light which help us in many ways, you are in this lesson or in this session, you are going to learn those things. You know that when light falls on an object, it reflects, and reflected light which reaches our eye, then we can see the object. So, this is what the reason for the visibility of the things during daytime and which are not visible during night time, because during night time or in the absence of the light, there is no reflection from the objects and we can't see the things around us. My dear student, you know basic properties of light, just recall those properties. You know that the light always travels in a straight line, and also it undergoes reflection, refraction, dispersion and scattering. Reflection is nothing but the bouncing back from the surface, refraction is nothing but change in the path, dispersion is nothing but splitting into 7 constants color, and scattering is nothing but whenever it is traveled through a solution, the particles in the solutions scatters the light. So, these are the some basic properties of light. In this lesson, you are going to learn the 2 important properties, that is reflection and refraction, and other 2 things, that is dispersion and scattering, you are going to learn in another lesson in physics, what we call human eye and colorful world. My dear student, let us learn the important properties of light, that is reflection and refraction, one by one. I already told you reflection takes place when light falls on an object, it bounces back from the object or from the surface. This phenomena is nothing but reflection of light. This is known to you. So, the reflection of light is nothing but when light falls on highly polished surface like a mirror or maybe any object, most of the light is sent back to the same medium. This process is called reflection of light. So, few objects are going to be absorb the light, but the polished surface like mirror reflects most of the light from the surface, and this is how reflection takes place on the surface. See, the line indicating the incident ray, and then another line which is going to be bounces back from the surface, that is what we call reflected ray, and there is a normal. You are going to learn the meaning of these three terms now. My dear student, so we have to understand the term associated with the reflection before going to learn the concepts of reflection. Those important terms are incident ray, point of incident, reflected ray, normal, incident angle and reflected angle. You know that about incident ray. The ray from the source of light which is falls on the surface is nothing but incident ray. The point of incidence is nothing but the point where the ray of light is going to be meet the surface is nothing but point of incidence, and from that particular point ray of light is going to be reflected, that is what we called reflected ray. And at the point of incident we are going to draw the perpendicular, that perpendicular line is called as normal. Then what is meant by incident angle? This is the angle between the incident ray and the normal, which is going to be represented by letter I. What is angle of reflection? It is the angle between normal and the reflected ray, which is going to be represented by letter R. Here angle I and angle R represent incident angle and reflected angle. The behavior of the light in case of reflection is going to be understood with the help of two laws. The first law of reflection says that the angle of incidence is equal to the angle of reflection, that is angle I is equal to angle R. So, while learning the term associated with the reflection, you learned the meaning of angle of incident, angle of reflection. So, these are equal when ray of light incident on the surface and when it is reflected from the surface. And you can understand the first law with the help of this animation. Here you are seeing incident ray, and there it is a angle of incidence, that is which is with respect to the 90-degree angle or with respect to the normal, and there is a reflection from the point of incidence. You are seeing the reflected ray, and you know the meaning of normal, and if you are going to measure this angle of incidence and angle of reflection, you come to know that the measure of both angles are same. This confirms the first law of reflection. My dear student, here you have a wonderful experiment with respect to the first law of reflection. Here you can see both incident ray as well as the reflected ray with respect to the protractor there, and if you see clearly, you can notice that angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. If the ray of light is going to be incident at an angle like 30-degree or 40-degree, the reflected ray which is also comes out from the surface in the same angle. So, this experiment confirms the first law of reflection. Then what is second law of reflection? It states that the incident ray, the reflected ray and the normal to the mirror at the point of incident all lie in the same plane. That means when you are going to draw the incident ray as well as reflected ray and the normal with respect to the experimental result obtained, we will come to know that all these three lines lie in the same plane. This is what the second law of reflection. Can you repeat it again? The incident ray, the reflected ray and the normal at the point of incidence all are lie on the same plane. This is what the second law. My dear student, as you all know that mirror is a object which reflect the image, or a surface typically of a glass coated with a metal amalgam which reflect a clear image. Whatever the ray of light which is going to be falls on the mirror, it get reflected from the mirror. So, we are going to use this mirror in our daily life for the different activities. Let us learn more about the mirror. Mirrors are going to be classified according to their surface. If it is plane, it is called as a plane mirror. If it is a spherical or if it is a curved, then it is called as a spherical mirror. In these spherical mirrors, there are two types depending upon the curvature or the reflecting surface. The one is concave mirror and another is convex mirror. My dear student, let us recall the nature of the image formed by the plane mirror. So, we are using plane mirror in our daily life situations as a dressing mirror and for other purposes. We have noticed some nature of the image formed by the plane mirror, and I request you to recall those natures by seeing these images. The first nature is the image is erect. Erect means straight. So, if you are going to stand in front of the plane mirror, so we can see our erect image in the plane mirror. The second point is the image is as same as the object. You are seeing the image over here. Here there is a doll in front of the plane mirror and there is an image in the plane mirror. If you compare these two images, you can notice that the height of the doll is as same as the height in the image also, even the width also. So, this is what the second nature of the image formed by the plane mirror. And the third nature is the image is at the same distance from the mirror as the object in front of it. That means, if we move towards the mirror, the image is also come towards us, and if you are going to move away from the plane mirror, the image in the plane mirror also moves behind the mirror. See, this is how a image is formed in front of the mirror when the object is moves towards it or which is moves away from it. You can notice the same in your home also. Let us come to the fourth important nature of the image formed by the plane mirror. The image is virtual. There are two types of image. The one is a real image and another is a virtual image. The virtual image is nothing but the image which is not possible to cut on the screen or cannot be obtained on the screen. The other type of image is a real image which is possible to cut on the screen or which forms on the screen. But in case of plane mirror, the image formed is a virtual because the image which is not possible to cut on the screen. The other important nature of the plane mirror is the image is going to be laterally inverted. You are seeing an image over here. The left hand of the doll which is going to be seems to be a right hand in the plane mirror. This is what the lateral inversion, and we have an application of this lateral inversion in our daily life. We can get the lateral inversion of the letter from the plane mirror. Here I am showing you how the letters of the word girl and boy which is going to be laterally inverted from the plane mirror. Look at the video. There you can notice the lateral inversion of the letter girl and boy. It is understood to you. Now, my question is, why ambulance is written as in a reverse manner or in an inverted manner on emergency vehicle like this? Can you tell me the reason? If you recall the concept of lateral inversion, you can write the answer for this question. And the reason for this is, it is written inverted to enable driver recognize an ambulance following him or her by looking in the rear view mirror. The inverted words get inverted again and can be read as usual. Do it yourself or try yourself. Can you find how the letters of your name be laterally inverted? You can test this by writing your letters of the name, and if you are going to be hold in front of the plane mirror, you can get your laterally inverted letters. Now let us learn about the spherical mirrors and their types and the properties associated with the spherical mirror. I told you already, based on the curvature of the mirror or the reflecting surface of the mirror, we have classified into a concave mirror and a convex mirror. In case of concave mirror, it is a spherical mirror whose reflecting surface is curved inwards. And the other important thing is, these concave mirrors are converging mirrors because these mirrors are going to be converges the rays of light. Here you can notice this. You can conduct this experiment by using stainless steel spoon. Here it is a animation to show how the rays of light are going to be converged. Here the rays of light travels parallel and which is going to be reach the curved surface, that is reflecting surface of the concave mirror, and which are reflected back and they are going to meet at a point. So, this is what the point of convergence. Now, come to the other type of the mirror, that is convex mirror. Here it is a spherical mirror whose reflecting surface is curved outward and it is a diverging mirror. So, here you can see the reflection of light, that is the divergence of the light from the convex mirror. Here it is animation to show the divergence of the rays of light from the convex mirror. Now, let us learn the term associated with the spherical mirrors, which are going to be used to study the nature of the reflected ray from the spherical mirror. Center of curvature, radius of curvature, pole, principal axis, principal focus and focal length. So, these are the terms associated with the spherical mirror. Let us learn one by one. The first is center of curvature. It is the center of the sphere of which the mirror is a part. You know that if you are going to extend the curved surface and we are going to get an imaginary sphere, and that sphere which is have a center, so that center is nothing but center of curvature. It is going to be represented by the letter C. Remember, the center of curvature is not a part of the mirror, it lies outside its reflecting surface. The center of curvature of a concave mirror lies in front of it. However, it lies behind the mirror in case of a convex mirror. Radius of curvature. It is a radius of the sphere in which the mirror is a part, which is going to be represented by the letter C as well as P. C is center of curvature and P is pole, and here you are seeing this radius of curvature. It is the radius drawn to the center of curvature to the pole of the mirror. Then come to the pole. It is the center of the spherical mirror. You know that a mirror has a reflecting surface. So, that reflecting surface has a center. So, that center is called as pole of the mirror, which is going to be represented by the letter P. Then principal axis. It is the straight line which passes through the center of the curvature and the pole, which is going to be represented by the letter X and Y. Remember, the principal axis is a normal to the mirror at its pole. See, you are seeing the principal axis there. Say this is what the principal axis, which act like a diameter of the sphere or which passes through the center and the pole of the mirror. Now, principal focus. In a concave mirror, the rays of light parallel to the principal axis after reflection meet at a point on the principal axis. This is called principal focus. Now, let us understand principal focus and focal length. My dear student, I already told you, and as you all know, that the rays of light which is going to be converges in case of concave mirror, when the ray of light passes parallel to the principal axis and after reflection they are going to be meet at a point what we call principal focus, that is going to be represented by the capital letter F, and the distance between the principal focus and the pole of the mirror is going to be named as focal length, which is going to be represented by the small letter F. If you are going to measure the distance between F and P, that gives us focal length of the particular mirror. Remember, my dear student, in case of concave mirror, principal focus lie in front of the reflecting surface like this, and let us understand the meaning of the focal length. It is the distance between the pole and the principal focus. In spherical mirror, the radius of curvature is twice the focal length, that is r is equal to 2f. Principal focus of a convex mirror, or in a convex mirror, ray of light parallel to the principal axis after reflection get diverged and appear to be come from the point on the principal axis behind the mirror, and which is called as principal focus for the convex mirror. And you can see focal length of the convex mirror is going to be calculated. See, here also the rays of light parallel to the principal axis reaches the reflecting surface. After the reflection, they are going to be diverged, and if you are going to be draw back the diverged rays, we are going to get a principal focus, and the distance between principal focus to the pole of the mirror is called as focal length of the convex mirror. Remember this point. In case of convex mirror, principal focus lies behind the reflecting surface like this. In case of concave mirror, we can notice the principal focus in front of the reflecting surface. Now, it is a recapitulation time. My dear student, let us recall whatever the concept we have learnt in this session. First point is the properties of light. You know that ray of light travels in a straight line and it undergoes reflection, refraction, dispersion and scattering. And the meaning of reflection, just recall it. When light falls on highly polished surface like mirror, most of the light is sent back to the same medium. This process is called reflection of light. And you have also learnt about laws of reflection. The first law says that the angle of incidence is equal to the angle of reflection. Mathematically, it is going to be written as angle I is equal to angle R. Then what the second law says? The incident ray, the reflected ray and the normal to the mirror at the point of incidence all lie in the same plane. And you also learnt about mirror. A mirror is an object that reflects an image, or it is a surface typically of a glass coated with a metal amalgam which reflects a clear image. And you also learnt about types of mirror and about concave mirror, it is a converging mirror, and about convex mirror, it is a diverging mirror. And you also studied about the terms associated with the spherical mirrors like center of curvature, radius of curvature, pole, principal axis, principal focus and focal length. And also you learnt about focal length. You know that it is a distance between pole and the principal focus. In a spherical mirror, the radius of curvature is twice the focal length. Now, you have a quiz, my dear student. So, just recall, read the questions and I will give you the 4 options and find the correct options which is suits the questions exactly. Now come to the first question. The point where the reflected ray meet in the concave mirror is its. You have 4 options. The first option is a focal length, the second option is center of curvature, the third option is radius of curvature, and the fourth option is principal focus. Just remember the definition given for the 4 options and choose the correct answer for this question. The correct answer is principal focus. It is the point where reflected rays are meet in the concave mirror. Now come to the second question. The second questions and its 4 options are: the line passing through the center of the mirror and pole is called dash. Option A, principal focus. Option B, principal axis. Option C, radius of curvature. Option D, focal length. The correct answer for this question is principal axis. Then come to the next question. Mirror which produce image as same as the object, that is related to the size of the image. The 4 options are: A, convex mirror, B, concave mirror, C, plane mirror, D, not a plane mirror. The answer for this question is plane mirror. Now come to the next question. The distance between pole and the principal focus is. The 4 options are: A, focal length, B, principal axis, C, radius of curvature, D, center of curvature. So just remember the definitions given for these 4 options and find the correct answer. So for this question, the correct answer is focal length. It is the distance between pole and the principal focus. Now come to the next question. Mirror which converges rays of light is. You have 4 options. Option A is convex mirror, option B is plane mirror, option C is concave mirror, option D, not a plane mirror. The answer for this question is a concave mirror. My dear student, I will give you few questions as a home assignment based on the concept you have learnt in this session. The first question is: what is reflection of light? The second question is: state the laws of reflection. The third question is: write the difference between concave mirror and convex mirror. And the fourth question is: define the following terms. One is principal focus, the focal length, radius of curvature, and the center of curvature. And the fifth question is: write the relationship between radius of curvature and the focal length. These are the home assignment for you. I hope you have all enjoyed my session and you have learned the concepts of this session effectively, and I wish you all the best. Thank you, my dear student, for the nice involvement in the program.